Welcome, crypto fam, to No. 1 Daily Bitcoin Pod. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis as well as breaking news. Michael Saylor said he will burn billions worth of his Bitcoin after he leaves this planet, giving us all a raise. So shout out to the Giga Chad. And Max Keiser says, I think I'll do the same thing. Let's go. We'll also be discussing Trump Media looks to partner with Crypto.com to launch their very own ETFs, as well as breaking news, Kentucky governor signing the Bitcoin rights bill into law. And speaking of state adoption, also Arizona strategic crypto reserve bill heads for a full floor vote. Rich dad Robert Kiyosaki calls Bitcoin the biggest opportunity in history. Says Bitcoin investors will see generational wealth. Thanks, Captain Obvious. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin going mainstream as the IMF integrates global crypto standards. That's right. Also, breaking news confirmed, according to Max Keiser, China is buying Bitcoin. Crucially, they're working with Russia to launch a gold-backed stablecoin. They don't want US dollar-backed stablecoins to undermine their sovereignty. I'll be breaking this down for you. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more here in today's show. But anyways, fam, let's kick this mofo off. If you're new to the channel, important, smash the likes, go ahead and subscribe. For the chairman of the SEC, Nippinator, then ring the bell, turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. Today is pod 1944. I'm your host, JV. It's March 25th, 2025. The market is still sitting above 88,300. Let's scope out Coin 360 and see how we doing. As you can see here in your screen, Bitcoin trading at above or roughly 88.4 on Coin 360 at the time of the live. We have Ether trading just under 2,100 in the red, XRP in the red, but it looks like the entire market's about to flip back in the green. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at $2.89 trillion. The Bitcoin market cap, $1.749 trillion. We got roughly 76.5 billion worth of volume in the past 24 hours, with Bitcoin dominance coming in at 60.7%, same as yesterday, with the Ether dominance at 8.7%. Checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, Kronos leading the pack. And big news, Trump's team is apparently launching some form of ETFs on Crypto.com, probably why it's up so much today. We'll dive into that in a little bit. It's one of our stories. We have Move up 23% and Immutable up 16%. Which alts are you bullish on for the bull? Do let me know in that live chat. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day. And safe to say, we're majority green today, maybe 65 over 35, green over red. And zooming out on the monthly, unfortunately, 90% Rec City. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index. Today we're 46 fear, yesterday at 45, last week at 34, and last month at 50, neutral. And checking out the time chain calendar, we have 160,621 blocks into the halving in 2028. And we're currently on block number 889,379. And you currently exchange one fiat monopoly tulip bulb dollar for 1,135 of the stats. To pick up the stats, put down the gas, pick up the Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at bitcoincaps.net. Let's dive into our TA fam, our astrology for the broskies. Perfect timing. We just flipped back in the green, just conquered 88.5. Headline reads, Bitcoin flips the macro bullish amid the first hash ribbon buy signal in 8 motherfucking months. That's right. Bitcoin traders are celebrating as one of the best known Bitcoin price metrics finally flipped bullish again. Can I get a hallelujah? And shout out Capriole Investments for sharing this macro bullish event. Miners, the biddy, look to set a comeback as the hash ribbon metric marks the end of their latest capitulation phase. The hash ribbon tracks potentially long-term buy opportunities using the hash rate when the miner profitability is at risk and the network participants retire. This forms the capitulation, which in turn leads to the long-term price reversals. These are monitored using two moving averages of the hash rate, which is the 30 and the 60-day. Capitulations correspond to the former crossing below the ladder, while the reverse is true for buy signals. And according to Trading View, the hash ribbon put in its latest buy signal March 24th, which was yesterday. It is visible in both the daily and the weekly timeframes, and here shortly I'll pull up the live chart. And as you can see on the 1 week here, this is the macro bullish according to Titan of Crypto. Also, the previous hash ribbon buy signal came all the way back in July of last year. At the time, Bitcoin had yet to bottom out, and it took several months before the wave of upside actually began. A similar scenario happened after the buy signal printed in August of 2023. Optimism over the latest development seemed tangible for much of Q1 of this year, but was marred by disappointing Bitcoin price action, and we literally got 1 week left until the end of Q1. And one of the most accurate midterm indicators is bullish now, says Robert Mercer. The analyst says expecting Bitcoin to go back 100,000 in Q2 of 2025. Let me know if you agree, disagree, and obviously we're only a week away before we hit Q2. Bitcoin has already begun to tease of the bullish market turnaround, and let me know if you think the bottom is in. We bottomed out at roughly 76.7 or 76 and some change. Chief amongst the signs is the RSI, which is the Relative Strength Index, like the hash ribbon, which is in the process of returning to form after months of suppression. On the weekly time frames, the RSI confirmed the bullish divergence for the first time since September. And while the daily chart is showing a support retest after breaking through the downward trend line in place since November. And November was the most bullish month we have had of all time. We rose roughly 30,000 in fiat, which is unprecedented. The multi-month RSI downtrend is over, according to Red Capital, is outlined here. And I'm also going to pull up some of the live charts, but I want to point out Saylor recently shared he will burn billions of dollars worth of his Bitcoin. That's his legacy he is leaving behind. Max responded, "This is a beautiful and noble gesture by Saylor. I think I'll do the same. Peace and love." Now, that's fantastic. I would dare speculate Max is one of the largest hodlers of Bitcoin in the entire world. And so for him and Saylor to burn their billions in Bitcoin when they're gone just makes your Bitcoin worth that much more. So thank you, High Priest, and thank you, Mikey Saylor. And with that being shared, again, welcome everyone joining us. Over 600 people on the live stream. It's a try stream. We're live on X, Rumble, and YouTube. How many of you would dare burn your Bitcoin? Let me know. And let's pull up some of the live charts here. Here we go. Here's Trading View via Coinbase. Let's start with the 1 hour and work our way back. As you can see, there's two bear targets on the screen. One is sitting at 83.8. And then we have one at 77,999. I got 99 problems. Biddy ain't one. Hit me. And check it out the 4 hour. Here, there's a lot going on. Falling wedge followed by a rising wedge. Two bull scenarios here. 113.7 for a double bottom top. And then we have one here at 105.471, which is the falling wedge. And then we have a couple of bear targets. One at 83.8. And another at 78. And zooming out from the 4 hour, we'll take a look at the daily. The daily chart. Yesterday was a green close. Day before was green. The day before that was green. So we're building some bullish momentum, which we love to see. There's a rising wedge here, followed by a falling wedge. Two bull scenarios, one at 113 and then one at 113.7. And zooming out from the daily, taking a look at a weekly, we still have the cup and handle target, which has been in play for months on the weekly chart. And yeah, the past couple of weeks have been green candle closes, and already for the new week, we're already forming a green candle, which is a good sign. The bullish momentum may be back. And zooming out, we'll take a look at the monthly, and as you know, unfortunately, February was a very bearish close, but thus far for the month of March, we're in the green. Let's see if we can maintain and finally have a bullish monthly close, which we haven't seen in a couple of months. And if you don't know, now you know, but let me know where you feel the Bitcoin price action will likely take us next. The headline here reads, Trump Media looks to partner with Crypto.com to launch ETFs. That's right. Trump Media signed a non-binding agreement with Crypto.com to launch a series of ETFs in the United States. Trump Technology Group Corp., the operator of the social media platform Truth Social and fintech brand Truth.fi, is also a part of their agreement, which is subject to regulatory approval. According to the March 24th statement from Trump Media, the parties plan to launch the ETFs later this year through Crypto.com's broker-dealer, Forest Capital US LLC. The ETFs will consist of digital assets and securities with a Made in America focus, which ultimately means, I guess, coins which were minted in the States. Crypto.com will provide the infrastructure and custody services to supply the cryptos for the ETFs, which may include a basket of tokens. I'm going to speculate Melania and Trump meme coins are going to be a part of that, including Bitcoin, Ether, Solana, XRP, and Kronos. The parties involved expect the ETFs to be widely available internationally, including in the United States, Europe, and Asia across existing brokerage platforms. Quoting the Crypto.com CEO Chris, once launched, these ETFs will be available on the Crypto.com app for more than 140 million users around the world. The ETFs are anticipated to launch alongside the slate of Truth.fi separately managed accounts, with TMTG also planning to invest in it with its cash reserves. The potential ETF launch would mark yet another crypto-related endeavor involving U.S. President Trump. However, Democratic lawmakers say the conflicts of interest have already arisen between Trump's presidential duties and the Trump Organization's ownership of the crypto platform. World Liberty Financial, in addition to the official Trump meme coin that launched 3 days before he was inaugurated, House Representatives Gerald Connolly recently referred to the Trump token as a money grant. Pretty accurate. That has allowed Trump-linked entities to cash in on over $100 million worth of trading fees. Democrat Maxine Waters, everyone's least favorite Dem, also criticized Trump's meme coin on January 20th, referring to it as a rug pull. Well, she's actually right here. That represented the worst of crypto. I mean, I dare say maybe the Haktua coin was a more despicable launch, but you tell me, what are your thoughts on that? And what are your thoughts with the partnership with Crypto.com launching ETFs along with Trump Media and for the altcoins and the baskets and the cryptocurrencies of choice we referenced? Yeah, let's continue with the news. Here's what's happening in Kentucky. Kentucky governor signs the Biddie Rights bill into law. You should be able to see here on your screen. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear has signed a measure known as the Bitcoin Rights Bill into law, enshrining protections for crypto users as two other U.S. states' Bitcoin reserve legislation advances. Crypto advocacy group, the Satoshi Action Fund, said in a March 24th statement that the House Bill 701 protects the right to self-custody, run a node, and use digital assets without fear of discrimination. First introduced to the Kentucky House by Rep. Adam Bowling on February 19th, HB 701 description says it safeguards the rights to use digital assets and self-custody wallets and bans local zoning changes that discriminate against crypto mining. That sounds dope. And at the same time, the legislation provides guidelines for running a crypto node. How many of you run a node? Let me know. And excludes crypto mining from money transmitter license requirements and specifies that mining and staking are not considered offering or selling a security. The bill passed Kentucky's House of Representatives February 28th, with all 91 reps voting in favor, and passed the state Senate March 13th, with all 37 senators voting in favor. It was then signed into law by Beshear on March 24th. Now, Kentucky has also introduced a bill to establish a Bitcoin reserve, allowing the State Investment Commission to allocate up to 10% of excess state reserves into digital assets, including Bitcoin. And the bill is currently still under review. Meanwhile, Oklahoma's House Bill 1203, known as the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act, passed the state House Representatives 77-15, according to the crypto advocacy group, the Oklahoma Bitcoin Association. The bill was introduced in the Oklahoma House of Representatives January 15th by Cody Manyard and passed the Government Oversight Committee with a 12-2 vote February 25th. It must now pass through the Senate before the Oklahoma governor can veto or sign the bill into the law. Oklahoma State Senator Dusty Devers also filed legislation January 8th that would allow residents in the state to receive salaries in the Biddy. Cool. And Bitcoin legislation tracker group Bitcoin Laws said in a March 24th post, Oklahoma has now moved into equal second place with Texas in the state Bitcoin reserve race. As outlined here, it looks like it's Arizona, Texas, and Oklahoma leading the race. Arizona remains in the lead after two strategic digital asset reserve bills cleared the Arizona House Rules Committee March 24th. That was big news yesterday. Headed to the House floor for a full vote. And speaking of Arizona, that'll be our next story. Bitcoin Law speculates that because Republicans dominate the Oklahoma Senate and the governor is a Republican, the bill has a good chance to pass into law. Also, Missouri Special Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs is also in the process of evaluating creating the state's Bitcoin reserve bill according to the Bitcoin laws. And if you don't know, now you know. Now, let's discuss Arizona. Headline reads, Arizona Strategic Crypto Reserve Bill heads for the full floor vote. That's right. 2 strategic digital asset reserve bills in Arizona cleared Arizona's House Rules Committee March 24th and are now headed to the House floor for the full vote. The bills together, if passed into law, would clear the way for Arizona to establish strategic digital asset reserves composed of existing assets confiscated through criminal proceedings and additional to new invested public funds. The Republicans hold a 33-27 majority in Arizona's House of Reps, giving both bills a decent chance of passing, so that's a major deal. However, according to the Bitcoin laws, the final hurdle could be the state's Democratic governor, them damn Dems, Katie Hobbs. Hobbs has a history of vetoing bills before the House, having blocked 22% of the bills last year, the highest rate of any state governor. Now, the 2 bills recently approved by the Arizona House Rules Committee are the Strategic Digital Assets Reserve Bill and the Arizona Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act. The Strategic Digital Asset Reserve Bill focuses on establishing a strategic digital asset reserve made up of the digital assets seized through criminal proceedings to be managed by the state's treasurer. The treasurer would be limited to investing no more than 10% of the fund's total value each fiscal year. However, they would also be able to loan the fund's assets in order to increase returns, provided that doing so doesn't increase financial risks. The Arizona Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act specifically deals with Bitcoin. The bill proposes allowing Arizona's treasury and state retirement system to invest up to 10% of its available funds into the pretty low biddy, going up forever, Laura. And additionally, SB 1025 would also allow for the state's Bitcoin reserve to be stored in a secure, segregated account inside the Federal Reserve Bitcoin, or the Federal Bitcoin Reserve, should one be established. And while Arizona is now considered to be leading the race of the established state-based digital asset reserves, several other states are hot on its heels. On March 6th, the Texas State Senate passed the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Bill by a vote of 25-5. The Texan bill still needs to pass the House to get the governor's signature to pass into law. Following the vote, a new bill was introduced by Democrat Representative Ron Reynolds to cap the size of the previously uncapped reserve to $250 million. Utah also recently passed the Bitcoin legislation, as we have detailed, but all references to the establishment of the strategic reserve were removed at the last moment. What kind of shenanigans is that? Meanwhile, Oklahoma House passed the bill for the Bitcoin Reserve Bill HB 1203, as we previously covered, alongside Kentucky, as the adoption continues. And if you don't know, now you know. State adoption coming faster at the state level than the national level, obviously. But we'll see as the race continues, game theory in full effect. Next story of the day, rich dad Robert Kiyosaki calls Bitcoin the biggest opportunity in history and says Bitcoin investors will see generational wealth. And let's just get right into the tweet. Here's what he wrote. Why poor people remain poor. Most of us have heard of FOMO, fear of missing out. Yet, the main reason poor people remain poor is due to FOMM, fear of making mistakes. The biggest opportunity in history is here. Bitcoin has made easy for everyone to become rich, yet most people with FOMM will miss one of the greatest wealth creations in history. If history is any indicator, the FOMO crowd investing in Bitcoin will accelerate into generational wealth. If history is any indicator, the FOMM, fear making the mistakes crowd, will wait till Bitcoin passed 200,000 this year and say, Bitcoin is too expensive. Don't take my word for it. Listen to the people I follow and learn them. People I learn or follow are Jeff Booth, Michael Saylor, Samson Mao, Max Keiser, Donald Trump, Cryptos R Us, Mark Moss, Bitcoin Zella. It's filled with priceless wisdom. Just add CNA in there, brother. Larry Leopard, Kathy Wood, Raul Powell, Anthony Scaramucci, and so many others. Then listen to those who trash the Bitcoin. Once you learn from those who love Bitcoin and those who hate Bitcoin, then you decide. The best news is on Crypto News Alerts. The most important financial education is no longer from schools or Wall Street. And thank God for that, because the public/government education system is designed by the Rockefeller Foundation, and they most definitely do not have your best interests at hand. The best news is the best information on the tube. CNA, JV and the Nippinator, and it's 100% free. Do not be in the fear of making mistakes crowd like a sucker. Most of this crowd are not stupid. Many are highly educated. book smart, yeah? Yet many have been taught our schools that people who make mistakes are stupid. How does a baby learn to walk if they do not fall 10,000 times, I dare add? They would never walk and crawl all their lives. And if school teachers taught babies to walk, that is why most school teachers are like my poor dad, highly educated, but poor. Get smart, get educated for free. Take care. Very profound message coming from Rich Dad there. So let me know your thoughts. I do agree. If people didn't have the fear of making the mistakes and Bitcoin past 200,000, they wouldn't say Bitcoin is too expensive. They'd be like, damn, that's a great buying opportunity. BTFD, bottom and freaking dip, and follow in the playbook of Mikey Saylor. And Kiyosaki also said he was unloading his gold and silver. About time, brother, to accumulate more Bitcoin. And he also predicts Bitcoin soaring way past 200,000 this year, quoting him here. I am switching as fast as I can out of gold and silver into the Biddy because I think Bitcoin in 2025, it'll probably go to $250,000 per coin. And if you don't know, now you know, broskies. Now for our feature story of the day. Bitcoin goes mainstream. The IMF integrates crypto into their global standards. That's right. This is a pretty big deal. And also, Max just recently tweeted today, confirmed China is buying Bitcoin. I repeat, confirmed China is buying Bitcoin. Crucially, they are working with Russia to launch a gold-backed stablecoin, which was our featured story yesterday. If you missed it, make sure to check it out on yesterday's pod. They don't want a US dollar-backed stablecoin to undermine their sovereignty. This is off the back of the news shared at the Bitcoin Conference Asia. It shows China is holding closed-door meetings on strategic Bitcoin reserve. Trump advisor says David Bailey. The game theory is playing out, hence the term coined by Max Keiser many years back, global hash wars in full effect. And also, as it shares here, billionaire Max Keiser just said China and Russia are buying Bitcoin. This is getting wild. And it only makes sense. Trump, the leader of the free world, just fully embraced Bitcoin, establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve and signing the executive order. Of course, the president of Russia and China and all over the world are having these conversations. It's called game theory. It's called the global hash war. Now, he also points out here that the cost of Trump's juvenile crypto behavior is that he opens the door to global settlement layer dominance by Russia and China with their gold-backed stablecoin, and the US dollar gets crushed. This was a repost off the back of Predator's post. The Trump family launched an ICO. They announced a DeFi protocol, announced a stablecoin, launched various meme coins, launched various NFTs, got board seats in crypto companies, performed M&A talks with crypto exchanges, announced they're launching their own crypto ETFs, as we announced today. The only thing they haven't done yet is launch a better Bitcoin. Just warning you of the shit show that is probably coming your ways. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. But let's dive a little deeper into the IMF adopting the Biddy. Global regulators have set the first set of wide-ranging rules to measure cryptocurrency transactions, reflecting a major transformation in the reporting of digital assets movements at the national level. The International Monetary Fund, better known as the IMF, recently issued its 7th Balance of Payments Manual, bringing forth uniform regulations to monitor Bitcoin and other virtual currencies. According to the IMF reports, more than 160 nations came together to create a new framework that fills an enormous gap in monitoring digital asset flows. Cryptocurrency transactions, which are estimated to be in the trillions of dollars every single year, have long been unrecorded or irregularly reported. The guide proposes a comprehensive classification system for cryptos. Bitcoin, for example, will be accounted for as a non-produced, non-financial asset, the same way nations account for land or natural resource rights. Stablecoins such as Tether USDT will be identified as financial instruments, while crypto services like mining and staking will be classified under computer services exports. And as announced right here, let me read this tweet to you as soon as it loads up on your screen here. IMF updates crypto classification and global finance. The International Monetary Fund updated its Balance of Payments Manual, which is BP M7, to better account for digital assets. Bitcoin is now classified as a non-produced, non-financial asset, while stablecoins and tokens with liabilities are considered financial instruments. The update also recognizes staking rewards and validation services as income, reflecting crypto's growing economic role. So there you have it. Two nations have taken significant steps in crypto governance. We have the United States, which just formed a strategic Bitcoin reserve. They currently hold roughly 2,000 Bitcoin, but unfortunately for the United States, 100,000 of them belong to Bitfinex, which means they really only hold 100,000 Bitcoin, which means North Korea has more Bitcoin at their government level than the United States due to the North Korean Lazarus, hacking group. So game theory in full effect. In the meantime, El Salvador persists with his Bitcoin plan. The nation amassed 6,125 Bitcoin worth $538 million, even after inking the recent $1.4 billion deal with the IMF back in December that called for restrictions on crypto transactions. Bukele said he's not slowing down. He's going to continue to buy the Bitcoin, so nothing has changed there. These national crypto reserves, as per the new guidance from the IMF, will now be monitored in the same manner as cross-border land acquisitions or spectrum license purchases. This methodology offers greater than ever transparency, which various nations are managing digital assets. And as you know, El Salvador is a Bitcoin country. They were the first country to put the Bitcoin on the balance sheet. And of course, the response from the crypto community varies heavily. Some interpret the manual as a grand acknowledgement of Bitcoin's stature, while others are warning that too much must not be made of the report. Max, Bitcoin advisor to Salvadoran President Bukele, asserted the IMF acknowledges Bitcoin as digital gold, but that the IMF did not endorse any such status as outlined here. Breaking, the IMF just recognized Bitcoin as de facto digital gold. Sources confirm the IMF is adding Bitcoin to their own reserves and will soon include Bitcoin in their SDR basket/index as well. And meanwhile, crypto using countries will be the ones to gain the most from these new reporting formats. For example, in Nigeria alone, more than 35% of the adults claim to use or possess cryptos, as revealed in the 2023 KuCoin report, probably much higher now, and that's due to many of their local currencies hyperinflating. Many of them use stablecoins or Bitcoin or the likes because they can't trust their government-issued currencies any longer. It's kind of similar to the US dollar. Now, though the guide does not give legal status to the cryptos, it is an important step towards realizing their international economic significance. Banks and governments will be able to track and report crypto transactions across borders using clear and consistent methods. The IMF upgrade marks an increasing recognition of cryptos as a significant element of the global financial system, despite controversies surrounding their future role. But there you have it, yo. Let me know your thoughts on what I just shared with the big news. China is buying Bitcoin as the global hash war continues. They're working with Russia to launch their own gold-backed stablecoin, and that the US dollar-backed stables, they don't want them to undermine their sovereignty. And if you don't know, now you know. Let me know your thoughts. I'll read your comments out loud. Welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream. How can they call it non-financial? I don't get it. Criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance. Great show as always, JV. Thank you. Clear. Respect, brother. Greatly appreciate that, Scott. Thank you. And again, welcome everyone joining us. Welcome to the Q&A session. We're live and in the flesh. I'll stick around for another hour and we'll do some live Q&A. I'll read all your comments out loud, and this is a perfect opportunity to get your questions addressed. I'll do my very best, I promise. Cheers, fam. We're back in the green. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Did China stop selling Bitcoin? I haven't heard it. I haven't heard of them offloading any Bitcoin any time recently. So if I was to guess, I would speculate every major nation, if not already acquiring Bitcoin, whether directly or indirectly, and when I say indirectly, through miners or some way, somehow having exposure to it, maybe ETFs, etc., then they're entertaining it and having discussions behind closed doors. They have to. It's a strategic play. The United States already made their move, right? So it's up to them to play. They can't just not be a part of it. They would get left behind. As Max once shared, there can only be one Bitcoin superpower in the world. Will it be the United States? Will it be Russia? Will it be China? Will it be India? Will it be Brazil? Who will it be? There's only enough room for one. Only one nation is going to be able to acquire millions of Bitcoin. No, it's not many nations can do that, right? Think of it this way. 21 million Bitcoin could ever be in circulation. Let's just speculate 5 million are lost, gone, or frozen and cannot ever be moved ever again. That takes us down to 16 million. 1 million Bitcoin already belong to the ETFs and the institutions. Michael Saylor, his company already has 500,000 Bitcoin. I speculate Max and Stacy have 1 million Bitcoin. The United States is proposing purchasing 1 to 5 million Bitcoin. Are you starting to see the bigger picture? There's not enough Bitcoin, right? So hypothetically, let's say Trump takes Saylor's advice and they come up with a strategic plan over the course of the next 10, 20 years to acquire 25% of the Bitcoin supply. 5 million plus Bitcoin. Let's just keep it even numbers. 5 million Bitcoin. No other country is going to be able to do the same thing. So these other countries are in a race to adopt Bitcoin. Who's going to do it faster? Who's going to do it first? Who's going to do it bigger? Well, Bukele already has the first mover's advantage. But the difference, overall, they're a poor country. Hence why they only have 6,000 Bitcoin. Michael Saylor is making like insane purchases, like $1 billion purchases, like it's nothing, right? Saylor's making a purchase of Bitcoin in 1 week, acquiring Bitcoin more than Bukele and El Salvador have achieved in the past, 4 years. It's more money, more wealth, right? The United States is a very wealthy nation, though the debt is very real at, 37 trillion or something like that. Well, there's ways budget neutral to acquire Bitcoin. How can you do it as a nation without costing taxpayers a dime? You trade your strategic gold reserves, right? After all, gold is the poor man's Bitcoin. Trade the fool's money, the fool's gold, for the real hardest asset, the apex predator. And there you go. Bada boom, bada Bitcoin.